never forget what happened to me on Halloween night in 2017. I was 16, too old for trick-or-treating, but my friends convinced me to go out just for fun. We hit a few houses, grabbed some candy, and mostly just walked around, enjoying the cold air and the sound of kids laughing in the dark. Around 10:30 p.m., we decided to head back, but I realized I left my candy bag somewhere. It wasn't a big deal, but I remembered putting my phone charger in there, so I retraced my steps. There was an old house near the end of our street, boarded up for years. As I passed it, I saw a candy bag sitting perfectly on the front step. I thought it was mine, so I grabbed it quickly, not wanting to linger. But as I turned, I heard the floorboards creak inside the house. I froze, thinking maybe it was a raccoon or something. But then I heard a voice, a low whisper, "That's mine." I dropped the bag and ran. When I got back home, I felt stupid. I figured it was just someone messing with me. But later that night, I saw the bag again, this time outside my bedroom window, sitting in the dark grass under the security light. I opened the window and yelled, thinking it was my friends pulling a prank. But no one was there. I decided to grab it again to throw it out, but when I picked it up, it wasn't filled with candy anymore. It was filled with old, yellowed teeth. Human teeth. Some broken, some still with dark gums stuck to them. Suddenly, I heard footsteps running up behind me. I turned around so fast I nearly fell, but there was nothing there. Only the sound of footsteps circling me, crunching the leaves, but no one was visible. That's when I heard it again, right in my ear this time. "That's mine." I threw the bag into the trash and ran inside, locking the door. I barely slept, staring at the window, half expecting to see a face looking in. The next morning, the bag was gone from the trash, but that wasn't the worst part. When I went to brush my teeth, I saw it. In the mirror, my reflection was normal, but when I smiled, a single yellowed tooth that wasn't mine was sitting in the middle of my gums. It felt cold, like it didn't belong, but it was fused in place. I ended up having it pulled a few days later, but even now, every Halloween night, I wake up to find something on my window ledge. Last year, it was another tooth. This year, I'm scared to look. This story happened to a friend of mine, Jason, on Halloween night 2 years ago. He was 21 at the time, and what started as a normal Halloween turned into something that still keeps him up some nights. Jason was invited to a small Halloween party at his friend's place, about a 15-minute walk from his apartment. It was around 10:30 p.m. when he decided to leave, dressed as a pirate, carrying a cheap plastic sword and wearing face paint. As he walked, he noticed the streets were emptier than usual, except for the occasional group of kids with their parents finishing trick-or-treating. But there was one house on his way that always creeped him out, an abandoned, boarded-up house at the corner of his street. Every Halloween, people claimed they saw lights flicker inside, even though no one lived there. As Jason was passing by, he saw a faint flicker through one of the cracks of the boarded window. At first, he thought it was just kids messing around inside. Then, he heard a tapping sound coming from inside. Tap, tap, tap. He paused, trying to listen, but the street was quiet, and the sound repeated. Tap, tap, tap. It sounded like someone knocking on glass, or maybe tapping on an old mirror. He took out his phone to record it for his friends, thinking it would be funny. As he was recording, the light inside turned off, and everything went dark. Jason was about to continue walking when he felt like he was being watched. He turned back to look at the house, and through a small opening between the boards, he saw what looked like a pale face staring out at him. It was there for just a second, then it moved back into the darkness. Jason's stomach dropped, and he froze, trying to understand what he just saw. Then, from inside the house, he heard it. A laugh. A slow, raspy laugh that echoed, followed by another tapping sound, this time faster. Tap, 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 tap. Jason started to back away from the house, keeping his eyes on the window. That's when he heard footsteps inside, heavy footsteps moving toward the front door. He turned around and started walking quickly, but he heard the front door creak open behind him. He didn't want to look back, but curiosity made him glance over his shoulder. Standing in the doorway was a tall figure, wearing what looked like a tattered costume. It was holding something in its hand, swinging it slowly back and forth. Jason couldn't see the figure's face clearly in the darkness, but the way it tilted its head while watching him was enough to send a chill down his spine. Jason started jogging, then running, trying not to look back. But he could hear it now, the heavy footsteps following him, hitting the pavement, getting faster. He turned the corner, trying to reach the main street, where there would be people and lights. But when he looked back, the figure was still there, walking fast, never running, but somehow never falling behind. He reached the main road where a few cars were passing, and when he looked back again, the figure was gone. Jason made it to his friend's place, out of breath, pale, and shaking. He showed his friends the video he recorded. At first it looked like nothing, just darkness and the sound of tapping. But then, for a split second, you could see it. A pale face pressed against the crack of the boarded window, looking directly at the camera, eyes wide and a crooked smile. Jason never took that route again, and every Halloween he avoids that street completely. Some people say the abandoned house is haunted. Others say it's just an old man who lives there illegally. But Jason says that the face he saw that night wasn't human. Be careful where you walk this Halloween.